Good afternoon, everyone. For those of you who don't know, my name is Maya Karen. I run a fashion blog called Classically Kept. It does feature luxury, contemporary, and how to style. So if you are into that, go ahead and hit the notification bell and the subscribe button. That way you will never miss a video. So today, I am going to be showing you how I trim my hair. The one and only person that I trust to trim my edges, she is my high school hairstylist. She is not taking clients because of COVID, so we will have to make do. So before we get into that, I just want to kind of give you like a little bit of a background and a couple of notes. I do have my barbering license. My father owns a barbering college and a barber shop. So in high school, I did complete my hours and I did get my license. The next point that I want to point out is that you can see that I have on a white shirt. Some people will say you can either use a white sheet of paper or you should actually use a white shirt. The reason being is that when you are trimming your ends, you are looking for split ends, and split ends are going to be a lot thinner than your normal hair or the hair that does not need to be tended to. So with me trimming my ends myself, I need a very stark background as opposed to what my hair looks like so I can see where I need to cut. Okay, so the next point that I want to kind of address or talk about is trimming. Do you actually need to trim your ends, or should you, especially when you are trying to retain your length? I will say this is for me, this is for my opinion. You absolutely do need to trim your ends. I used to be that girl who wanted to hold on to her length because my hair was long, but at the same time, it was not healthy. And what you actually start to see is that if you don't trim your hair, it will do just that. It will split. It will split all the way up your hair shaft, and then your hair will begin to tangle, fall out, and it will actually begin to look thinner. So now I am of the notion that if I see a split end, I'm chopping it off. When I trim my ends, whenever I see the point of where my hair is, because that's what people say. When you're talking about trimming your hair, you should be cutting off the ends of where you can actually see through. So I take it a step further, and where I see the ends, I will probably cut a little bit above that. That way I just want to make sure that I am getting all of these split ends. Now I will say this, because I do dust, my hair is different lengths. So some people, when they talk about getting a trim, they just go to the bottom of the hair and they just give you a very stark line. I can't do that. I actually go in section by section and cut my hair because I dust and because my hair is different lengths. So that's one thing that I did also want to point out. And then also, how often should you trim your ends? For me, because I did have a setback, which was back in 2017. For me, trimming my hair, again, like y'all know, I trim my ends every single time I straighten my hair, and I also dust. But when I had my setback, I noticed that one of the reasons as to why my hair was not growing or why my split ends were happening so frequently is because I was not trimming my hair as often as I should. So I would say anywhere from 2 to 3 times a year, just depending on your hair, how you take care of it, and how much manipulation you do to your hair. Because the more you manipulate your hair, meaning hairstyles or your hair or your hands just playing in your hair, any type of manipulation, the more you manipulate your hair, the more you will have to trim your ends. So let's go ahead and get into what you will need, and then I will show you how I trim my ends. So I almost forgot the most important note or important part of this video. If you are going to use, or if you are going to trim your own ends, please use shears. Do not use scissors. And I will show you when we go into the bathroom. And when I'm talking about scissors, I'm talking about those scissors that you buy from Walmart, Target, or the dollar store. They're typically like, they have that orange handle, or they have that black handle. Those are meant to cut paper, packages, cardboard. They're not meant to cut your hair. Shears and scissors, there is a difference. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so you will need clips. I do mine in 4 sections, so I have 4 clips. And then you will need shears, not scissors. They look like this. And then you will need a wide tooth comb because we're going to make sure that we get out all the tangles and the snarls. And then for precision, we're going to use a smaller rat tail comb. Now, we're not going to be using this comb right here, as you can barely see through it, because even in the smallest section, this would create tangles itself. So we're going to use I would guess maybe say like a medium one. So let's go ahead and take this off, and we're going to take these out of the little twist, and then we're gonna detangle. At the end, you can see where it's tangling. That is also an indication that your ends need to be trimmed. So as I'm combing my hair out, you can begin to see where I need to cut. Now, it's not a lot, but like I said before, if it's see-through, I want to get rid of it. Same thing on this side. You can kind of see a line of where it needs to be cut. Okay, so I have parted the front section of my head. We're just going to take those two pieces and put them up so we can work with the back. From the back, you can also see where my hair needs to be cut. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and part our hair. Remember, I said that we're going to have to do this by sections. I can't just go on the bottom of my hair and just cut there. We actually have to go in sections and trim our ends. Take your medium-sized rat tail comb. And again, we're just going to make sure that we're detangled. Everything is even. And just because I'm showing y'all, I'm actually going to stand up. I typically do this in front of a mirror, so bear with me. But you can see that long, scraggly piece that we need to get rid of. So we're going to go ahead and just cut that. And there we have it. Going to comb it again just to make sure that everything is even. And then we're going to go ahead and work on the other side. Now, the side that we just cut, we're going to use that as a guide for this next side. That way we can also make sure that our hair is even. So again, we're just combing it out, making sure everything is even. We're going to glide down and see where we need to cut right there. We're going to take our shears and we're just going to cut right along your fingers. We're going to comb both sides down to make sure that everything is even. And then you can see that little piece right there. We're going to go ahead and chop that off. Now that we're even, let's sit down and continue. And we're going to do the exact same thing we did with these two sections. So just take that bigger section and section it off into a smaller section. In the bigger section, we're just going to go ahead and pin up like we did before. And this is going to go the exact same way as the first two sections. So now we're going to section that section off. And again, we're just making sure that everything is even, everything is untangled to make sure that we can see what we need to cut. And right there, as you can see from the back wall, you can see exactly where I need to cut. Then we're going to take this section and do the exact same thing. We're looking for where we need to cut. Again, that is where you can start to see through your hair. So just take it and use your finger as a guide and cut it off. Now you can see that that is longer than what we have already cut. So we're going to use the shorter piece as a guide. There we go. And we will follow the exact same thing on this side. See right there? Okay, now let's stand up and see where we're hitting. Same thing, so we're gonna have to cut some more off. Take your comb, make sure everything is even. Your scissors, again, use the shortest piece as a guide and cut. And there we go. Now, right there, you can see we do have a little extra, so we're just gonna take that again and cut it. So I kind of want to address why I'm cutting so much off in the back. As you can see, there is a huge difference between what I just trimmed and the back of that. Because I was wearing my hair in buns for so long, when I had my setback, it actually broke off the back of my hair. So in a sense, I'm kind of having to start over because, like I said before, if I can see through the ends, I want to get rid of them. But if I were to actually go to the very bottom of my hair and cut off the see-through part, it would probably reach right above my bra strap. So we're gonna see what we can do about that. Okay, so we have done the back, so bear with me for a second because this is my first time actually trimming on camera. Like, I'm usually in the mirror, so it's different. But I'm gonna stand up because number one, now we're gonna move on to the front. The back is done, as y'all saw. Number one is because the hair on the sides of my head from right here to right here grows faster, and it actually has a looser curl pattern. So it is longer, but I'm just gonna be sitting up and standing up and sitting down to kind of show you. So first, let's just go ahead and take it down. So this is what it looks like now. And probably a majority of this, probably like right here. So like right here will be going, more than likely. I can already kind of see just by looking at it. And the other thing, I know a lot of people are scared about trimming their ends because I know people are like really, gung-ho and very serious about their hair, because I used to go to the hairdresser and I was like, give me a trim. Do not give me a cut, give me a trim. But like I said in the beginning of the video, I am of that mindset. If it's split, it's gotta go. Because my goal, it was waist length and I will be able to get back there. So my goal now for 2021 is to have it sitting right on top of my booty with ends that are intact. So in order for me to achieve that goal, I have to start fresh and new. So we're gonna be cutting off not a lot, but you'll probably notice the difference, okay? So we'll go ahead and take this out. And I always start on my right side. My right side is the thinnest and it just helps me guide alongside my left side. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 2 clips and just clip the back of my hair because I have it parted. So we're just gonna go ahead and put that there and then just put this one here. Let's make sure we comb this out just one last time. Okay. Then I'm just gonna go through it with this comb. And this is what I was telling y'all before. Some people, when it comes to trimming ends, they just simply comb the hair all the way down. They take the comb, they look at it and they say, hey, you have split ends, let's just go ahead and chop right here. Which you can do that, but like I said before, I dust and my natural hair is uneven. So what I do is go in and I split a piece of hair. All right, so and actually this ring light is actually helping me a lot. I know you all probably can't see it. So like I was saying before, let's look at this really quick so people can understand what I'm talking about. You know, let's start from right here. It's solid, 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 solid. Now, if you're holding it together, of course, all of it's going to be solid. But if you just loosen it just a little bit and you start actually going down, and I'll show you as much as I can. You start actually going down, you start to notice that you can start to see through my hair. So if you take a comb and you go like this, and we come all the way down, if you look, at that point is right there where you can actually see through my ends. So that's what needs to go. So we're gonna take the scissors, and your finger is actually a guide. You're just gonna take your scissors and you're just going to perpendicular, so perpendicular right here. Take those scissors and just chop that off. And I know it looks like a lot, and it's really not. You know, it's still even longer than the back of my hair, which, you know, I don't care, you know, as long as it's even. And I might cut, you know, a little bit more off. But already you can see that with me cutting off those scraggly ends, my hair already looks a lot healthier and it looks fuller and thicker, okay? So I think that's good for right now. Let me go through it one more time. And like I said, you want to look for when you can actually start to see through your hair. And it looks like we got all of it. Just to be sure, I'm going to take it at the bottom right here. I'm going to take that and I'm just going to snip it. That's just me being anal because I'm serious about my ends and I'm really trying to get to my goal with intact ends. I'm just going to top off a little bit more. And that's just me, again, being anal. So you can see that it looks even better. And also what you will notice is that when you curl your hair, when you start curling hair that has damaged ends, it will hold, but it won't hold as well, and it will actually start to look scraggly. So as you can see, once I cut it, because I haven't put rollers in my hair in days, you can see that my ends are actually starting to curl like that without me even having to do that. That means that your hair is intact and all of your hair is even. So now we're gonna sit down and we're gonna take the hair right here and we're going to part again with our smaller comb. And you can even see like right here. Let me hold it this way so you can see behind. You see that? You see, let me get a little closer. You see how you can start to see like right here? You can start to see through my ends. That's where you need to cut. So, and then like we did in the back, we're going to use this piece as a guide. So we're just gonna take it right here, pin this up, and we're going to use this as a guide. So we're going to comb, get all the snarls out, and then look to see, and I can see it is literally right there. This ring light is actually helping out a lot more because you can see it even more in the light, and I can see that it's like right there, literally. So we're just gonna take it and we're gonna chop. And as you can see, it's basically the same length as what we just cut. Now, just to be sure, we'll go back over it, just comb. It's like a little bit, if you can even see that. And again, this is just me being anal. Take it and just cut it. Be careful, shears are actually very sharp, and I have actually cut my knuckle and it hurt like heck, okay? So, already you can see looking fuller, looking better. And you can see the difference between the sides. Tell me, honestly, which side looks better? It's this side. It looks better and it's healthier, and it actually falls better. You notice that this is falling, but this is a little stiff. This falls much better. So let's continue. Now, these two front pieces I kind of cut at an angle, and I always have, so that's where my cut is. It's diagonal. Reason being is because when you put it down this side, it's gonna straighten itself up just a little bit when you put it down to the side, because I'm combing it to the front so I can see it, but when I lay it down, it's gonna be on the side. So comb it, look, and I can see it's about right there. My scissors, right there. Chop it off. And you see it falls right in line. All right, so I have this out to use as my guide for my first cut on this side, and then after I do that, I would just clip this back up because it's kind of in the way. So let's go ahead and take this out, get our wide tooth comb, and comb everything out to make sure we got all those snarls and tangles. Okay, and again, like I've said, yes, this side is longer, much longer. Yes, it is waist length, but it doesn't look good, okay? So we want to make sure that we're even. And this is actually not that far off. So, like I said, new year, new hair, new ends. So let's take our comb. And this is actually a very small piece, but we'll rock with it. Again, look at it, see where you can start to see, and then just snip. Now, because the front needs to be even, all right, so we are even. And there you go. Last piece. And we're going to do the exact same thing we did on the other side. Is we're going to comb it forward, but we're going to cut it in a slant. And just in combing it, I can already see where it needs to be cut. Hold it up to the light. It's about right there. Slant your finger and let it go. So we are done. Okay, so I just wanted to give you, I guess, a closer view that we are done. Our ends are new, they're refreshed, new year. We're gonna do another hair challenge, or where I am, like I said. So my hair is right here. I want the front to be right here. And then the back, here's the back. So the back is currently right there. I want it to be right here, right above the booty. And then let me just turn around and show you. Our ends are trimmed. Can't see through them. And like I said before, when your ends are trimmed, your hair falls and hangs differently. Like I said, you can see right here where it's kind of under curling, but then right here, you can see like there's a little wave going on. That's just the natural, curl pattern. But it just looks so much better. It looks healthier, it looks fuller. And like I said before, the front of my hair it grows faster, so of course it's going to be longer, but also the curl pattern is a lot looser. So if the front of my hair is, down here and the back of my hair is up here, that doesn't really matter to me. I want my ends to be even, okay? Alright you guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me and watching this very basic, very novice trim your ends video, but I just kind of wanted to show you how it is that I do it. I just want to remind you that here on YouTube, I do upload videos every Wednesday and Sunday, and then of course, you know, right here, I will put my Instagram handle. Thank you so much you guys. Bye.